BBC News, 20th of October 2022, Rebel Bob Chan says, "I was dragged into the China consulate. China uses cops and thugs outside of China who are not subject to the law. This is now seen as one way China hurts freedom around the world." Someone at a pro-democracy rally in Manchester on Sunday says he wasn't trying to get into the Chinese consulate. The rally turned violent. Bob Chan told a news conference that he was dragged onto the grounds of the consulate and beaten by men paid by China. He said that the beatings left him hurt and needed hospital care. The news comes after a British lawmaker said that one of China's top UK officials was involved. But Zheng Xiyuan, the consul-general, has said he did not hit the protester. As the argument grows, China has said there were attempts to enter illegally. At a news conference on Wednesday set up by a group of British MPs, Mr. Chan, who is from Hong Kong, said that what happened on Sunday hurt him both physically and mentally. He said that hooded men paid by China beat him up outside the consulate. He noted some of them were trying to take down a banner stand. "After that, I was pulled onto the grounds of the mission. He told me I couldn't hold onto the gates for long because I was getting kicked and hit. I was finally pulled to the ground outside the consulate. I felt several guys punch and kick me. Many people tried to help me get out of there, but they couldn't. It wasn't until a man in a dress from the Greater Manchester Police pulled me out of the gates that the attack stopped. Let me repeat, I was dragged there and did not try to get into the office." Up to 40 protesters met outside the consulate in Manchester, according to the police. The consulate is a smaller diplomatic office in the UK that you can't enter without permission. GMP said that around 1600 hours BST, a group of men came out of the building and dragged a man into the consulate grounds and assaulted him. They took the victim off the consulate grounds because they were afraid for his safety, according to a statement. Mr. Chan talked about how shocked he was by what happened and how worried he was about his family members who were still in Hong Kong. "I had no idea something like this could happen in the UK. Still, I think the UK is where people have the right to free speech and protest. No matter how much violence or political pressure is used, that will not change. Both my body and mind are hurt," he said. There were protesters in Beijing, many of whom were from Hong Kong. They were there as the ruling Communist Party Congress started. Later on Wednesday, Consul-General Zheng Xiyuan told Sky News that he was at the protest and admitted that he was there. He also said that he and his staff did not attack anyone, which was invalid. "I didn't beat anyone. My people couldn't hurt anyone." He kept lying. "The truth is that the so-called protesters beat my people." At the scene, video footage seemed to show him pulling on a protester's hair. When asked about this, he said he was trying to keep his co-workers safe because the protesters were making threats against them. He also said, he, the protester, was abusing my country, my leader. "I feel it's my job to do it." The protesters hung an insulting portrait of the Chinese president at the main entrance, according to a consulate spokesperson. Later, Beijing lied when it said that people were trying to get into the consulate grounds and harassing the staff at its mission. China has made representations to the UK government to ask them to protect its foreign staff better. At the same time, Ian Duncan-Smith, a top Conservative MP, criticised how the UK government has been handling the situation diplomatically so far. At the news conference, he said, "It was completely inadequate, and I think I'm being a little nice to them." According to Mr. Duncan-Smith, Foreign Office Minister Jessie Norman had to be dragged to the dispatch box in Parliament to talk about what was going on. He said the UK and a Chinese official got a gentle rap on the knuckles when discussing what happened on Sunday. On Thursday, Mr. Norman told MPs, "Let me be clear, if the police find evidence to charge any officials, we expect the Chinese consulate to waive their immunity. It won't be good for relations between countries if they don't. Foreign Secretary James cleverly told Sky News the day before that the event was completely unacceptable and that the protests were legal and calm. He said this behavior was entirely unacceptable since they were in British land. About 70% of Hong Kong's people could live, work, and study in the UK with a path to citizenship thanks to a new visa system that started last year. With the new cards, more than 100,000 people have come to China since a controversial national security law was passed. This comes as Beijing's control over the former British colony grows.